All right, welcome to episode 15 of Reality Rundown, where we will be recapping tonight's episode of Big Brother All-Stars. I'm Connor Nelson, along with my co-host Christian Holman. How are we doing tonight?
Great to be here. Great night. Great night. Glad to be alive. Still breathing.
Still breathing. All right, so tonight's episode was the veto episode with Bailey and Davon on the block.
It definitely was.
Any thoughts about just in general, just about the episode before, or just tonight? Just you want to talk about off the start?
Nothing really off the top of my head. I mean, we got Bailey and Davon on the block. We're gonna have the POV. It was a decent episode. There wasn't a lot to it, although they tried to make it seem pretty dramatic, which there was potential, but
Yeah.
We'll get into it.
Yeah, this episode starts with Christmas just talking about how Bailey and Davon made themselves the target, or kind of Bailey made herself the target by saying that her untouchable, which I don't know why that's all of a sudden something people say. I think this is the first season this has happened, and I don't really like it, but this is what they're saying is untouchables instead of like final twos. I don't know. It doesn't make sense to me. I don't like it, but she was just saying how Bailey said that her untouchable was Davon, which I think was very clear. I don't think she had to say that for anybody to know that, but she did say it, and I guess Bailey thought that she was a lot closer with Christmas than she was, because Christmas took this as like, oh, like if that's your final two, if that's who you're not ever gonna put on the block, like I can't work with you. So I think she kind of just used that as an excuse to throw him up. But the way she's playing it off is she like blatantly said that was her person that she's never going to like put on the block vote against. So I have to put them up to split that pair apart when there's other clear pairs in the house.
Yeah. Which the thing about it is I don't think she's actually saying it as an excuse, because that's actually how Christmas is. But like, if it was anybody else in the house and they said that, I would be like, no, it's obviously just like a front. Yeah. Be like, why?
Yeah, and also with Christmas is she like doesn't take anything personal. Like nothing in the game inside the Big Brother house is personal, no matter what it is. So like with her, everything is strictly game, no matter what. Like outside the house, she'll be like, forget all of it. Like, or at least I think like that's how she is or portrays herself. So really, like I think it is just game for her, but it was kind of a lame just excuse. I don't know.
Yeah, which the using the whole like my untouchable, you're untouchable, that crap. It's not really. I don't really like that. But if you put it up as like, you're telling me this is who you're definitely working with, and I'm like, it's just like you're telling me that I'm not your number one. I can't make it to the final two with you. Well, why would I keep one of you around? You know?
Yeah.
It's just like
and again, I guess Bailey just thought she was a lot closer to Christmas than what she was, and thought she could trust her with that information, and clearly she couldn't.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Which, you never tell people who, which we get to the very end of the episode, which I thought was hilarious when Bailey's asking, but.
Yeah, we'll get to it. Either way, after the noms, Bailey is, she's just fed up. She's done. She doesn't want to be there, and she's just like, Davon, I'll go home. You stay here. Like, it's over. I'm done. My game's over. Just. You go forward, which I don't understand. Yeah, I don't understand
everything
that.
she's on. Everything she's on.
Did she do that in the challenge?
The challenge. She did it in Big Brother 20. She does it every single.
Who'd she do that with in the challenge? Like, was it Casey? I guess.
Yeah, when she got mad at Casey, she's like, "I'm going home. I just can't do it. I'm going home."
Yeah.
Like she does it every single time. Drives me crazy.
Which I think that's part of the problem of like, not even just her, like a lot of them now, especially this season, are well off in their lives. Like they don't need the money. Like they could use the money. No one's gonna like not want $500,000, but like they're set up like they're not there because they have to have this money. It's gonna be like life-changing money. Like they're fine, and like so if things go wrong or like things aren't going their way, there's like I would rather go home right now as opposed to going into the jury house and getting that extra stipend of $1,000, whatever it is, for a week, and just be home with my family. So I think that's part of the problem with this season is a lot of them are just like, I don't want, like, if I'm going home, I would rather go home this week than next week.
Yeah, I mean, you'd definitely rather go home before jury. That way you can, I mean, if it's $1,000 a week, they're probably making more than that a week where they're actually living. And plus they can be with people they actually like, opposed to some super stressful environment. Which, I mean, even if you're not doing super well off, I mean, you'd still rather do that. But I
disagree because like in every other season, people want to make it to jury. There's never people that are like, oh, like, I want to go home now before jury. They're like, I want to make it to jury. Like, I think David's the only one that has been like, I want to make it to jury, and then after that, whatever.
Yeah, I mean, I guess kind of maybe, but I think more people see it as like they go to jury, they're going to get extra money for doing it, and they're not really doing it. They're just relaxing. While a lot of these people, these are all stars, where they are all pretty much set up in their lives. They have
that's what.
Yeah, they have a significant other. They have other things. They all have families now too. So, but most people when they come on, they don't have that.
Yeah, and there's only a couple that are. Yeah,
and I would say that $500,000 is probably still life changing.
It is, but it's not to the point to where they are willing to, let's say, Bailey fight on the block to stay on the off chance that she gets in a better spot and wins the game. She's just like, I would rather just go home. Like it's
but
fine.
That's how Bailey has been every season.
Yeah. But Janelle's kind of the same way. Like Janelle was like, whatever. Like I'm going home. Like she tried, but not like hard.
Yeah, Janelle's 40.
So, then we get David talking about his power, and he's like, I'm not using it. There's no point in me using it. Like I hate that Bailey and Davon are up together, but I have to save this in case it's me up on the block. Which I agree with that.
Definitely.
It would be stupid to use it, and the next week he's on the block, and crap, I wish I had my power.
Exactly. Maybe week 3 of that power, you should use it for whoever's up there if you're
aligned with them at all.
But not right now. You got a couple weeks, and there's obviously a side of the house running things, so maybe you should hold on to it just in case. Yeah,
I agree with that. Bailey goes upstairs to the HOH room, and Christmas is acting like she's the one on the block, which it's like, why you made this move? Like you wanted them up on the block. Why are you acting like this? Like I don't understand. It didn't make any sense to me. Which
she was so tore up about it.
If you didn't want to make this move, no one made you make this move. You could have done whatever you wanted. Like
I think she was so tore up because, like you were saying earlier, she's really good at separating game from personal. And like personally, she like really likes Bailey, and it feels like they're really good friends. But then she knows that she's doing something that's possibly going to ruin that or something, which it definitely has. But yeah, I think she's seen the personal side of it, but it's not going to change anything about it because she knows she has an objective in this.
Yeah. Bailey's just talking to her about how she doesn't understand the move. She's like, we were never coming after you. Like, I thought we had a really good relationship. Like, and they're in the same room. Like, they sleep in the same room. So I think they talk a lot in there. And so I guess she just like thought that, I don't know what she thought because Christmas was clearly on the complete opposite end of the spectrum. But she was just like, I wasn't coming after you. And she was like, it all came back to the untouchable, which again, I don't know where this word has come from, but they're using it. All of them are using it. And she's just like, I don't understand. Like, I was never coming for you. You were not on my radar at all.
Yeah, which, I mean, I'm sure that's definitely true to an extent. Like, I'm sure she'd probably go far with Christmas. But the thing is that
you've already let her know that there's no chance that you're taking it to the final.
So it's just like, now, personally, if I'm in the game, that means nothing to me in week 3 or 4.
Yeah.
You know, that means nothing at that point. But maybe when we start getting week 7, 8, 9, 10, you know, then it's time to really start worrying about things like that. But early on in the game, especially if you're in a big alliance, use opposing sides to your advantage.
And I don't think Christmas thinks that, like, there's any 1 or 2 people that are really gunning after her. So I think she just found the one thing that she could take and latch onto at, like, to make an excuse as to why she wants to, like, put someone up. And she's like, well, here it is.
It gave her easy targets, opposed to being like going after Ian as to who she likes. I think she's actually worked with Ian to some degree. Who else is on the David, who she doesn't think has a chance to do anything. Who else is in her alliance? Kevin, again, doesn't think he's going to win anything.
Yeah.
So it's just like, well, there's only 2 other people to choose from. Now you gave me just a little bit, so I'm gonna take it.
Yeah, 100%. Then we get to the Danny, Nicole, Davon talk in the Have Not room, and this is kind of where the episode turns like away from everything and goes towards the whole like throwing Tyler under the bus and Tyler's meltdown. So we get Davon just asking Danny, like, I heard from not multiple sources, but from one source, which is Tyler, that you were coming after me and Bailey, and you were trying to get other people to come after me and Bailey. And Davon's like, what are you talking about? Like, I never said that. Like, completely just like not owning up to it at all, which what she should do.
Yeah, she should have known up to it.
Yeah, exactly. And she's just like, yeah, this isn't what's happening. And they're like, well, the only really option we have here is we need to go talk to Christmas, and we need to get her to backdoor Tyler. And clearly, like, we know this isn't gonna work, but they think that there's a real good chance that they could get this done.
Yeah, I mean, the thing about it is, like, Danny knows that, like, there's more than just Tyler saying it, because Enzo literally owns up to it whenever she's had that talk with Bailey. Not that he's necessarily spreading it, but that it's going around, and it just kind of makes it seem like more people are talking about it, you know?
Yeah.
So, technically, obviously, it's not just Tyler, but Danny's kind of been going after Tyler for a little while here now.
Yeah.
Or trying to at least plant the seeds for it.
And then they show after this Danny going to talk to Christmas, but what they didn't show was during the middle of this conversation, Nicole gets up, literally in the middle of the conversation, like they continue to keep talking. Nicole goes straight to the HOH room and tells Christmas immediately. Like, doesn't wait. And we're like, how is it? Like, literally during the conversation, Nicole rats them out immediately. And it was crazy. She's like, I just want you to know that they're going to come up here in a few minutes and they're going to throw this pitch to you and it's coming. Like, how do you feel? And like, just filling her in on all of it. And then, but they didn't show that. I don't know why.
Yeah, they should have shown that.
Yeah, I don't know why they showed that. But yeah, Nicole was the first one, literally during the conversation, to go tell Christmas. But they do show Danny going and talking to Christmas about like what the conversation was, about how Tyler was like planting seeds everywhere with everybody, trying to get Davon and Bailey to go after Danny and Danny to go after Davon and Bailey, and how they should use the veto and backdoor Tyler. And you can tell Christmas is not having it.
Oh yeah.
Like, it's very clear that Christmas isn't having it.
Yeah, it's actually nice to hear that Nicole did that, just because I like the fact that she doesn't have this blind loyalty to Danny, and she's not going to go with everything she says, and then I'm sure it's vice versa. I don't think Danny's was looking at her even nearly as closely, but I don't know. It's just I like seeing people not just be like, oh, my alliance said this, so I should probably do it.
Which is Christmas.
Like
Christmas is Christmas. During this conversation with Danny, like, we just got to keep the alliance together. You know, the committee. We can't be going against each other.
The committee's dead next week.
The committee's dead this week. The committee was dead when it started. Like, the committee doesn't exist really. Like, it's literally.
I mean, it's still technically there,
but not really.
Next week, it is officially dead.
Memphis literally made the committee. And the next week he got HOH. That same week, everybody was like, Memphis is next to go. Which luckily for Memphis, he hurt his back and kind of blended in. And people, like, even I forget Memphis is even on the show. But the committee doesn't, like, no one's loyal to the committee except for Memphis and Christmas, I think. And Christmas is even said, like, I'm good with going after Danny. I'm good with Danny going home. So really, even her, to an extent, isn't fully loyal to the committee. So I don't even think the committee's real.
I mean, it's not dead yet, though. It's still going on. And plus, all of the committee always has power. Every single person in that committee has had power every single week.
Yeah.
So it's still technically alive until one of them turns on each other.
Yeah.
And next week,
it's coming.
This is a Holman guarantee. Committee is dead next week.
Especially after this Christmas HOH with everything that's went down. Like, Christmas is basically everyone's number one target, which was the same way with Memphis after his, and he kind of blended back in. But I think Christmas kind of took it to the next level, which I hope they show a lot of tomorrow. And you'll see why, like, I think people are definitely going to go after Christmas.
Is this
depending
like
on who gets power. Yeah, like, there's just been, like, a bunch of fights and just basically how Christmas was on our original season came out. Like, it hasn't been just everybody love each other, everybody just hang out and be peaceful. And it was, like, a lot of screaming, a lot of yelling, a lot of in your face. And it was it was basically 99% Christmas. So, and that's I hope they should show it. So we'll see that tomorrow. But either way, we get to the veto players being picked, and Christmas picks Nicole, Day picks Danny, and Bailey picks Ian. So really, you got to think, like, going in the veto, if you're Davon or Bailey, like, you got to feel pretty good. Like, that's probably the best draw you could get.
Yep. That was the best first veto without Tyler in it, and then as soon as we get that veto out there, we cut to Ian, who is having some medical issues.
Yeah, so Ian's sick. He's having, like, I think just anxiety problems, and just he's freaking out real bad. Not having a good day, not having a good night. So he goes and sees the medic. Doesn't play in the veto. But before we get to the veto, we have Danny and Christmas talking, and they're like, if we can throw it to to Davon. Danny and Nicole say if they can throw it to Davon that they want to do that. And they're like, we don't have the blood on our hands. We don't have to do it ourselves. But if we have a chance to throw it to her, I think we should throw it to her. So they're definitely on board with letting Davon get it. But we'll see what happens in the veto coming up.
Which, I mean, the veto coming up, it's the perfect veto to throw to. And
which, again, goes back to Christmas's original season when she got it completely thrown to her on a broken foot. So, but we get to the veto, and it's the yeah, exactly. It's the
running one.
Yeah, I forgot what it's called.
You're on a buzzer. If you false start, you're out. If the number comes up.
Yeah, there's a screen at the end, and there's math equations, and if it equals 13, you go and you hit your buzzer at the other end or midway through. And so,
Davon goes out first. False start.
Yeah, Davon goes out first. False starts immediately, and you're like, Davon, like, just sit there until you see someone move and then go. You don't have to be the first here.
Yeah, well, I mean, to be honest though, the way she was set up in her blocks, if everybody went first, she's not going to outrun them.
She was squatted down, if she's in.
So the first time Big Brother ever ran this game, it lasted a really long time. And then every other season since they've ran it, it hasn't lasted super long. Like, the first time they ran it, they literally showed a timer of it being in one set of blocks for like 45 minutes or something like that.
Yeah.
And like people were like moaning and groaning, talking about how much pain they're in, yada yada. Plus, they got rid of the foot pedal this year.
Yeah. No, they had one.
No, it was.
Oh, I see. Yeah, my bad. I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
Which I'm guessing there was a lot of complaints about how hard it was to keep your foot on it because people were slipping.
Yeah.
But
but yeah, it's like literally all you have to do is sit there. Which again, it's better to be like wait for someone to false start as opposed to you false starting being the first out, because at this point it's 4v1. Like, it's 4 people against Christmas. Everybody's like, you got Nicole and Danny gonna throw it to Davon. So, and I guess they didn't tell her that, so she didn't know. But either way, Davon's the first out, and I think what she pulled the slot pat. No, she pulls the veto. The veto, and so second round.
I think Ian should have got a punishment or something still, because he technically forfeited. He technically forfeited for not competing.
No, because the medic didn't clear him. The medic said he couldn't.
They should have replaced him or something because.
Yeah, they should have pulled a new chip
thing.
But I guess if they pull another chip like that, people could fake it. People will, like, if I don't know. I guess it just I don't know.
I'm sure they took out an extra the trip. Yeah, they didn't give a trip this year. So because Ian didn't compete, somebody missed out on getting a vacation.
Yeah, true. So second round, same thing. Bailey false starts, and you're like, are you kidding me? Literally, all you had to do was stand there. Like, it's so easy here. So at this point, you're like, okay, it's over. Like, Bailey and Davon, they're on the block. They're not going off the block. Because Danny and Nicole, at this point, they have no incentive to win the veto. So they're just going to throw it to Christmas, and then no blood on their hands. Who cares?
I don't think Nicole really wanted to throw it to Davon.
Yeah.
I don't think she did. Because she was even talking about, like, she instantly goes over to, like you said in the conversation they had earlier.
Yeah, but they do that every time. Like,
she instantly ran off to Christmas to rat out the conversation and be like, hey, I don't think we need to go against Tyler.
Yeah, but she doesn't want to have the veto and then be like, I'm not using it on you, Davon, and then keep it, and then Bailey go home, and then Davon stays there, and it's like, why didn't you use it on me? Like, it shows her cards if she doesn't use it on Davon.
Yeah, but I don't think she would have thrown it.
I disagree. I think she 100% threw it, but
no, she definitely threw it. She threw it this week, or she did throw it in this comp at the end, but I don't think she would have thrown it if it was just her and Davon at the end, or her and Bailey. I think she.
Oh, I thought you meant you didn't think she threw it with Christmas, and
no, she
Christmas.
definitely threw it with Christmas.
Okay, yeah, okay. But
I don't think she would have thrown it to Bailey or Davon.
I think she would have thrown it to Davon. Maybe. I don't know. Danny definitely would have. I don't know about Nicole, because they didn't show Nicole in the DR saying if she would or not, but they did with Danny. So maybe that's why they didn't show it, because Nicole didn't say that, and they just wanted the suspense of if she was in it.
That's what I think happened.
Either way, Bailey pulls out a slot pass, I think. Yeah, she pulls out the slot pass for the season. And then round 3, Danny goes out. And again, I think at this point, Danny and Nicole are like, we're going out next. Christmas, you win. Like, it was an automatic win at that point for Christmas, which is basically just like every competition she had on original season. It was all just handed to her. But either way, Danny takes the slot pass from Bailey, and Bailey ends up with the triathlete. The triathlete medal. And fourth round, Nicole obviously goes out. She pulls $5,000 and gives it to Davon and takes.
That
the
was
punishment.
shocking. That was I didn't.
It was shocking,
shocking
but like that gave her the record for how many costumes she was like talking about it even before the veto about how she needed one more and how she wanted one more. So like it's really not even that shocking when you really think about it.
Well, I mean, it's still shocking to be like, hey, I'm going to give away $5,000 for this record that absolutely means nothing, and the fact that she's probably got a good shot.
But she also got in this season the record for how many days she's been in. She like passed Janelle, and she knew that too. So she like she's actively talking about it. So like I think she's actually like these records mean something to her.
Yeah, but it's still like the fact.
Why would you do that? It's stupid. Yeah, it's stupid.
It's a good game move, probably, honestly.
Oh yeah, because even in the DR after, Davon's like, that meant so much to me. Like she didn't have to do that. I wouldn't have done that, but she did it, and that goes a long way with me. So it was a great game move, I think, for her.
I think it was a great game move. Now the only thing that I could see it being a bad game move is people on the outside of it being like, she's obviously just trying to butter her up.
Yeah.
But
I think she played it off as I legit wanted this, and she's been talking about it. So, and again, Nicole's a really good player. People just hate her, and I personally don't like her that much as a player because of the way she acts. But clearly, she's really good at the game, or she wouldn't be here.
Exactly.
So then Christmas obviously wins, and she pulls. What was hers?
I don't know.
What did she have? I don't know. Either way, she takes the veto from Davon. Bailey took it from Davon, so she ends up with the triathlete. It's a triathlete. Either way, she takes the veto from Bailey, and it was really awkward, to be honest.
Yeah, she started crying. Said, "I'm playing All Stars. I gotta do it." Okay, just be like, I'm gonna take it because you want the veto. You don't gotta be like, I gotta be a big girl here.
You're the HOH. Clearly, you want the noms to say the same, or you would let them have it, and then you throw up whoever you wanted. Like it's not like whatever.
Yeah, it was.
It's not that yeah.
Yeah, she's been so emotional this week. It's a little too emotional. I mean, very frustrating, but it is what it is. The triathlon thing, that does kind of suck as punishment, and I'm not gonna lie,
What did they show the punishment for the triathlon?
Not yet, but
okay.
We know what it is.
All right.
But based off what Bailey said immediately after noms, it sounds to me like she's going to forfeit it. Or I figured she's like, I'm just not gonna do it. I'm not gonna do it, and just leave.
Yeah, 100%. So then we get to Nicole's punishment. And it's the Sloppy's box with a fake wig, and it's huge. Like this would honestly suck to wear all day, but I figured you would love it.
I didn't. I really didn't care much for it. I mean, I saw her come out in it, and I just didn't care. I'm not a big costume guy.
You go back each week, you're like, I love the punishments, I hate the punishments, I love the punishments, I hate the punishments.
I love certain punishments. I like punishments that make you do things, not punishments that you wear.
You like the alien guy, or the grandma, or stuff like that. Yeah.
Yeah, or like the announcer telling you have to go do stuff. I like punishments that feel like a punishment, not like a
nuisance
set of clothes.
Yeah. So then we get Cody, Danny, and Ian in the backyard, and Tyler walks past, and they're like, he's looking rough. Like, he's looking thin. He's looking frail. Like, something's going on with Tyler. Like, he's not right. And they cut to the DR with Tyler, and he's just talking about how he's struggling and how there's just something off and how he doesn't feel like he needs to be there and how he feels like it's his fault that Bailey and Davon are on the block, and he just wants to do something because he feels like that's what's weighing him down. And he goes to Davon, and he's like, hey, do you know where Bailey is? And she's like, I think she's asleep upstairs. He's like, let's go talk. And so they go up there, and Tyler talks to him about how he feels like he's responsible for them being on the block and how he doesn't want to be known as just a good liar and a good manipulator. He wants to be known as something more. Like, he clearly wants to win this game, and he was pinning Danny against them and them against Danny, and he was doing that selfishly. And, like, to be fair, though, like, I don't know why they would be – I get why they'd be mad, but, like, he's clearly there to win the game. Like, you're not there to make friends or, like, to be on – like, you have to lie in this game to get further. Like, it's just part of it. And I get, like, there's certain things you shouldn't say morally, but, like, at a certain point, he's there to win.
Yeah, and it's not like he was lying about things.
No.
Like, Danny was saying these things.
And he doesn't owe Bailey anything. Like, I get, like, she, in her season, like, a lot happened. Like, not just in the house, but in the jury house. Like, things happened. And it was, and she claims it's because of him. Like, the things that, like, he did to her, which basically he just, like, said he was with her and then backstabbed her, which that's part of the game. Like, you can't fault him for that because he played a good game and, like, he went further because it's part of it. And it sucks it sucks that those things happen to Bailey, but it's not, you can't put it on Tyler because of the way he played the game.
Yeah, I mean, like, Big Brother is a game about lying. It's literally about manipulating people and getting them to do things for you without you having to be the one to do it. Ever since season 1, I don't really know season 1, but, ever since, as long as I can remember, people have talked about they don't want to get blood on their hands.
Yeah.
So what you do is you use other people. And that's exactly what he was doing. He wasn't doing anything wrong. And then this whole conversation, you can just see Bailey is not having any of it. Like,
no.
He's sitting here apologizing about it, and she's just not about it.
And you can tell he's being super genuine, too. Like, it's not like he's, like, lying about any of this. And I think there was also, like, it's not just he wants to go home. Like, he was actually, like, trying to self-evict. He wasn't just doing this to, like, before this happened, he literally goes to the DR, tries to leave. Alison Grodner, the executive producer, the top woman, had to come, talk him down. Like, it was a big thing. Like, he literally tried to leave. And that's whenever he went and did this. But I still think he was still genuine about, like, him wanting them in the game and them wanting to go further. But at a certain point, like, he didn't come to not win. He came to win the game.
Yeah, there was definitely, he was definitely having some, like, moral issue with it. And it just didn't make a lot of sense in terms of, like, or it makes sense. I mean, it just didn't, you could tell Davon was eating it up. I think it really meant something to her. Just even before he said that he was going to evict himself. And then Bailey's just not. Like, Bailey she has one of the worst personalities I've seen in Big Brother. And I hope she goes home.
I just don't understand the whole, like, they think that they like, I don't really know how to word it. Like, they think that they should be there over other people. But the thing is, it's like, Tyler's there to further his, like, that's what I keep going back to, is like, Tyler's there to further his game and win the game. So, like, if it means, like, hey, Bailey, like, I want to squash this, we're good. But then him going to Danny, be like, Danny, like, if you want to take a shot at Bailey and Davon, like, I think you should, I got your back. And then go to them and say the opposite. Like, he's doing that for his game. Like, that's what he's there for. That's what every one of them are there for. They're not there to help, like, Bailey win the game. Like, he doesn't care if Bailey wins the game. Like, he may say he does, but he might, but he came to win $500,000. You don't leave everything behind. You don't leave your family just to be like, I'm here because on our original season, I did you wrong, and I'm here to make that right. He doesn't care. Like, wow, like, you're not going to do that.
Care, but
he might care, but he might care, but he did not come back on the season just to make it right with Bailey.
Yeah, like, it's Bailey really feels like everyone should care more about her than they do care. And it's really frustrating.
And again, it sucks and it's terrible the things that she went through on her original season. But again, you can't. She had a miscarriage in the jury.
Okay, but that wasn't Tyler's fault.
But she says it was because of the, like, trauma that she went through with Tyler backstabbing her. Which again, it may be, it might not be, but you can't, like, go through the game and, like, say that all happened and then be like, I kind of trust you, I don't trust you. You either trust him or you don't. You work with him or you don't. Who cares? But, like, you can't blame everything on him and expect him to just lay down and quit and not play just so you can go further.
Yeah, I mean, if you want to fix it outside of the house. Don't feel like he has to fix it inside the house. But, well, yeah, whatever, though.
Yeah, it's just it's a lot, and there's a lot to it more than just Big Brother in the game. And I think Tyler Tyler does care about that stuff, but again, he didn't come to squash beefs and we get to this. He's like, I tried to extend an olive branch, and clearly it's not going anywhere. So, but after this conversation, he goes and talks to Christmas, and on the feeds, so like they show the conversation before on the feeds, and then as soon as he goes to talk to Christmas, it cuts. They don't show any of it. And this conversation lasted with Christmas and Tyler for like 2 hours. And so during this conversation, Danny was like freaking out that Tyler was up there trying to get her backdoored and making a plan to backdoor Danny, but the whole time he was just trying to get himself evicted. But nobody knew that except for Bailey and Davon. And so what they showed was basically he was like, I don't want to be here. Like, I feel responsible on the block. Like, I think you should put me on the block, basically. Like, he didn't say that explicitly, but it was very clear that's what he was doing.
Yeah, which she even said, Christmas said, I need you to spell it out for me directly.
Yeah.
And then it immediately cuts to her being like, so don't want to put you on the block.
Yeah, and again, I think he did like that. Again, that conversation lasted 2 hours, and they showed maybe 3 minutes of it. So a lot was said that we didn't see.
Yeah,
but she was even like, me putting Bailey and Davon on the block had nothing to do with you. Like what you said to me, it meant nothing. Like it was honestly Danny and Nicole that got them on the block, if we're being honest.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't really see Tyler, which obviously I don't show everything, but on the show, it doesn't show Tyler planting seeds for Bailey and Davon to go up on the block.
Yeah, I mean, he did. He definitely did, but it wasn't to the extent of Bailey and Davon, him going to Bailey and Davon trying to get Danny up. But he definitely was doing it.
Yeah, which I'm sure he's probably done about most people.
Yeah, 100%. Which it's the game. That's you're supposed to do that.
It's the point.
Yeah. And then we get Bailey talking to the DR about how she doesn't trust this and how she doesn't trust Tyler and how she'll never be able to trust Tyler because of what happened in the last season. And again, it's like, who cares? Like, if you don't trust him, you don't trust him. Like,
yeah, I'm done with Bailey.
Yeah. So then we get Christmas and Davon talking about how Davon's just like, I think you should pull me down. We put Tyler up. We have the votes. Tyler goes home and everything's perfect. And she's just like, I don't know if I'm going to use it, but like, I don't see how this helps me in any way, and how she doesn't think Bailey's going to work with her after this. And Christmas is right. Like, this doesn't help Christmas's game whatsoever. This really hurts Christmas's game if this happens.
Yeah, definitely. And the thing about it is, like, what Davon's doing right there is pretty much the same thing Tyler's doing, where it's like trying to get someone to do your dirty work for you, you know, which it's part of the game.
Yeah.
And it's just, which I think Davon's doing the right thing. But it's funny that there was a possibility of it working out for them, but then Davon has
this conversation, and it
Davon
backfires.
Literally says something that ruins it, being like,
I don't think it would have ever happened, but this definitely solidified that it's not going to happen.
Yeah, it was just Bailey. She says Bailey is so mad at Tyler, she wants his head on a silver platter.
Yeah,
and it's like, what the heck? He literally said he's going to go home for you, and yeah, so
we get Christmas goes and tells Tyler about this conversation, and she's just like, Davon told me verbatim that Bailey wants your head on a silver platter. And he's like, what? He's like, I literally threw my game away for Bailey and Davon. Like, I literally was going to leave this house so they could go forward in this game. Like, and he's right. Like, he's like, and this is why I think he was genuine, is like, he was like, I tried to throw an olive branch. I tried to like squash things. I tried to do, this is literally all I can do at this point is leave the game so they don't have to. And for her to still like not trust me or not like me or clearly not wanting to squash the beef, like, maybe that means that I should just be here and this is like my chance to reset and really play this game.
Which I hope he does. I hope he gets his self together, quits stressing out so much, and just starts roasting people.
And I don't know if like they showed this conversation on the feeds because everybody was freaking out that Tyler like was just being insincere and just saying all this stuff to Bailey and Davon for game. And But I think this is the conversation with Christmas about how Bailey said that she still wants Tyler set on a silver platter. She's going after Tyler. That's why that he like completely changed his mood and was like, okay, I'm here to play then. Like if she doesn't think that I was being sincere and really wanting to leave and just still wants to have this whatever beef we have, then whatever. She can go home and I'm here.
Yeah, which I think hopefully that's a good thing. Hopefully it ignites a fuse in him and he's ready to.
Again, Tyler's a really good player and really fun to watch, and I just think it's better off that he is there. I don't know. I like watching Tyler play.
Yeah, Tyler's a good player, and I hope Bailey goes home, which we see Christmas doesn't use the veto.
Yep,
So I hope that. And it was so funny. As soon as Christmas is like, I'm not going to use veto, Bailey's like, who is your untouchable?
No. She says, yeah, she's like, can we talk about who your untouchable is then, or who you said your untouchable is then? And Christmas is like, no. But like at this point, if I was Bailey, I'd be like, okay, this is what you said, and just called her out right there. Why would she just be like, okay, I won't say anything?
Well, she didn't tell her.
Oh, I thought she was saying like she told her like.
No.
Okay.
She didn't tell.
Gotcha. Okay, I thought she was saying, let's talk about who you said yours was.
Yeah, that wasn't a chance for her to really do anything.
That makes sense then.
Other than to be like, maybe hopefully throw shade and maybe get something out of it.
Yeah.
But I just love Christmas's short little response. No.
Yeah. I mean, but if it were me, I would blow up on Christmas. Christmas is I hate Christmas. I don't like Christmas. You like Christmas. I don't know why, but I can't do Christmas.
I don't necessarily like her, but I don't dislike her either.
I don't like her at all.
She's on my good side. She's made the nice list so far.
Let's see if she still is after tomorrow, if they show what they should show.
And if they show it and it's real bad, she might make the naughty list.
She's just I don't know. Again, and this season is going exactly like that. Every comp she's won, she's been handed. Even this one, like she literally, the two people that were going for it, false started, the next two threw it, and Christmas wins. Same thing, literally on 19, she had a broken foot, couldn't walk. And she won the same comp because they blatantly threw it to her, and it was clearly obvious because you can't even run.
That was an HOH comp in that season, though, wasn't it?
I don't know. Maybe.
I think it is.
I'm not sure.
I don't honestly know.
I don't know either. Either way, it ends with Tyler just talking about how he is revamped, ready to go, and ready to play the game, and Bailey and Davon pissed because it wasn't used, and they were led on to think that it was going to be used.
Yeah, I hope Bailey goes home. Hope Davon wins, and hope Davon sparks it up next week.
But yeah, tomorrow should be interesting. We'll see what happens. We'll see hopefully some blow ups, some Christmas going nuts like always, exactly like she did on 19. And I'm thinking we're gonna get a wall comp, endurance.
Uh-oh. Bring your sweat gear.
Who do you like if it's endurance?
Endurance, I think. I guess Tyler's always good at these.
I don't think Danny has it in her anymore. I just don't think she's got it.
I don't think so.
Old Danny, sure, but
she is in good shape though.
She's in better shape than
she used to be. So maybe Danny. I think if Bailey stays, Bailey has a decent chance at it. I don't think Davon does. Who else?
Ian maybe. Ian was good on his original season, but it's been 7 years.
If he's still having medical issues, maybe not. But
well, it did show that he said he was getting better. So, and it's been, I think the veto was Monday, so he's had 3-4 days to get better.
Yeah, they need to give him some drugs if he's struggling.
Memphis definitely not. His back is shot. He's done. He can't do anything.
Yeah, that's sad for Memphis. He's told, like I said earlier, he's old and looks like he's gonna hurt himself. Apparently he did. It
happened. His back is done for. Can't move his back. But yeah, I guess we'll see tomorrow, see what happens, and see who gets in power, and see if things get shaken up, which I think they're going to.
Sounds good to me. Let's see what happens.
All right. Well, if you are watching on YouTube, please subscribe. Please leave a like. Please leave a comment if you'd like. If you want to watch us record these live, we go live after every episode, Sunday, Wednesday, and Thursday at twitch.tv/realityrundown. We appreciate you guys listening. Have a good one.
Peace be with you.